chawli or black-eyed beans instantly. I'm going to take about 1 cup of them in my pressure pan and I'm going to roast them for at least 5 minutes. Then I'm going to just rinse them thrice under running water. And then I'm just going to add about 1.5 cups of water to the pressure pan and I'm going to cook it on 1 whistle on high and simmer for 15 minutes. And then once the cooker is cool, you can see that your chawli is already nice and cooked. So this is the fastest way to cook chawli. So now that our chawli is ready, let's make the usar. Now here I've heated 1 tablespoon of ghee. I'm using ghee, otherwise you can use half a tablespoon of oil. Once the ghee is hot, I'm going to add half a teaspoon of mustard seeds or rye or mohri. Once they begin to splutter, I'm going to add half a teaspoon of cumin seeds or jeera, half a teaspoon of asafoetida or hing, and half a teaspoon of turmeric or haldi powder. Now I'm going to add a few curry leaves, about 8 to 9 curry leaves. Give this a fodni or tempering a nice mix. And now we're going to add our cooked chawli. Be very careful because it does tend to, splutter. So just be careful of that. And now give everything a good mix. And now we're going to cover this on a low to medium heat and cook it for about 3 to 4 minutes. Now our chawli is already cooked. We just want everything to come together really well. The bagar or the fodni that we've added. We want everything to come well. Now let's add the other ingredients to make this a real tasty usar. Now I'm going to start by adding salt. Now I use this Himalayan pink salt. So I'm going to add it according to taste. Then I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of red chili powder. We're not going to make this very spicy. Now comes my all-time favorite, which is my homemade goda masala or kala masala. I'm going to leave a link of how you can prepare this at home. I've added about 3 teaspoons. And this is optional if you can get your hands on this. I'm going to use just half a teaspoon of it, but it's called kanda lasoon masala, and you get this in the local masala stores where they make powder masalas. Then I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of jaggery or ghee. You can also substitute it with sugar if you don't have, ghee or jaggery at home. And mix everything really well together. Now again, we're going to cover and cook this for about 3 to 4 minutes on a medium to low heat. Again, stir gently. And now all we have to do is add some lovely kothimbeer or coriander, mix it in well, turn off the heat, and your lovely chawli usar is all ready. You can enjoy this with some hot steamed rice or some chapatis or puris. So friends, let's make this mixed vegetable recipe. Now here I have 1 small cauliflower that I have washed really well and cut into small pieces. I'll leave a video of how to cut cauliflower in the link in the description box below. This is 1 medium boiled potato chopped fine, 1 carrot chopped fine, about 50 grams of French beans or faraspi cut fine, 1 medium onion chopped fine. Now this is a paste of 2 light green chilies, 4 cloves of garlic, half an inch of ginger and half a cup of fresh coriander. Just grind this to a very coarse paste. Then we have some powder masalas. So here I have 2 teaspoons of coriander powder, half a teaspoon of cumin, 1/4 teaspoon of garam masala, 1/4 teaspoon of haldi and half a teaspoon of Kashmiri red chili powder. This is homemade garam masala. I'll leave a link of how I make it at home. So these are the few ingredients that we require for this recipe, and it is a really delicious recipe. So now I'm going to heat about 1 tablespoon of oil in a pan, and I'm going to add this ground paste and fry the paste really well, so that the rawness of the ginger, the garlic, the green chilies all goes away and you get this lovely aroma of this chutney rather. Now once the paste is nice and fried, I'm going to add the onion and I'm going to fry the onion till it's nice and translucent. Then I'm going to add all these powder masalas. I'll leave all the ingredients in the description box below. Mix everything nicely. Now I'm going to add about 1 cup of water, and I'm going to cook this gravy till it thickens up a bit. So mix everything really well. Now I'm going to add some salt to taste and about 1/4 teaspoon of sugar. And I'm going to mix everything well, and we're going to let this gravy cook on a low flame for about 2 to 3 minutes till it nicely thickens up. So this is our base for this recipe, or the gravy for this recipe. So let that simmer. In another pan, I'm going to add just 1/2 tablespoon of oil. You can also use clarified butter or ghee. And once the oil is hot, I'm going to add all of these veggies that I've chopped fine. See that you wash all your vegetables really well. Like I said, I'll leave a link of how I chop up my cauliflower. They have an entire video about it. And mix these vegetables really well. Let them fry for about a minute in this ghee or oil. Now I'm going to add about 1/4 teaspoon of haldi powder or turmeric powder, and I'm going to make the flame a little higher from low to medium, and fry these veggies till they are a little bit crispy. So continuously stir the vegetables and just fry them till they're nice and crispy. And then you can turn the flame off. Now our gravy has nicely thickened. As you can see, we've been simmering it for about 2 to 3 minutes. And now I'm going to add all of these fried veggies into the gravy. Now what the frying does is that it just brings out the flavor of the vegetables. It makes the dish even more tasty and appetizing. And now mix everything well and just check the gravy for sugar, salt, or any other seasoning if you want to add a little more of chili powder. And now we're going to cover and cook this on a low flame for 2 to 3 minutes. And our dish is all ready. All you need to do is just garnish it with some lovely freshly chopped coriander. So friends, here I've soaked 1 cup of moong, washed it really well first under running water, soaked it in 3 cups of water overnight. Then I remove all the water, and then again I keep it just like this for another 8 to 10 hours. And then you will see that it sprouts like this. So our sprouts are ready. Now if you want to sprout it even more, you will keep it for one entire day. Then I'm going to place this in a pressure pan and with water around it, a little water in the pan which has the sprouted moong, and we're going to cook it for 1 whistle on high and then simmer it for 10 minutes on low. And then let the cooker cool by itself, and then you'll see that our sprouted moong is cooked just perfect. It is not too mushy, it is not very raw, but just the perfect consistency. So now we have our cooked and sprouted moong all ready for our lovely Goan moong ghati recipe. So now let's see all the ingredients we require for this delicious moong ghati recipe. So this of course is our cooked as sprouted moong that I just showed you how we made it. Then I have about 4 to 5 dried red chilies, Kashmiri chilies. I just have taken out the stem. Then we have over here 1 tablespoon of dhania seeds or coriander seeds. This is a small piece of nutmeg, 1 star anise, some 8 cloves, 6 cloves, 8 peppercorns, and half an inch of cinnamon. We are going to be dry roasting these spices. Then I require about half a cup of freshly grated coconut. So we're going to make a paste. We're not going to dry roast the coconut, but we're going to add the coconut and make a paste. Then we have 1 inch of tamarind and about 1 tablespoon of jaggery or jaggery or gur, salt to taste, 1 green chili, light green chili, some few curry leaves, and some coriander for garnishing. Then I require half a teaspoon of mustard seeds, haldi, and hinga or asafoetida. So just a few ingredients. So like I said, we're going to be dry roasting the spices. So roast them on a low to medium flame. Don't burn the spices. Just gently roast them till you get the lovely aroma of all the spices. Then just switch off the flame, let it cool down completely. And then we're going to add this to our mixer jar. And I'm going to add the coconut, a little bit of water, and we're going to grind it to a paste like this and reserve the masala water. Now heat a pan and add just 1 teaspoon of oil. We're not going to use a lot of oil for this recipe. 1 teaspoon. Now once your oil is hot, we're going to add the green chili. There is just 1 green chili that I've cut into 4. And we're going to fry this green chili really well. Then we're going to add just half the quantity of the curry leaves. I'm going to keep the other half for the tempering. So fry the curry leaves also really well. Now we're going to add our cooked sprouted moong. Mix everything nicely together. Now we're going to add the haldi powder or the turmeric powder. Next, we're going to add some salt to taste. We're going to add the tamarind and the jaggery or jaggery or gur. Mix everything well together. We want the jaggery to also melt. You can also use sugar if you don't have that at home. Now add the ground paste. Mix everything really nicely together. And now we're going to add the masala water. You can add as much or as little as you want. If you want a thicker gravy, then add little less of the water. If you want a little more watery gravy, then add a little more water. Let this simmer or come to a gentle boil for about 2 minutes on a low to medium heat. Now we'll add the coriander leaves. And now we're going to mix everything and just turn off the heat. Now here I've taken a tempering pan. To that I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of oil. Once my oil is nice and hot, I'm going to add the mustard seeds. Once the mustard seeds begin to splutter, I'm going to add my curry leaves. Turn off the heat and then add your asafoetida or hing. And now we're going to pour this tempering evenly over our ghati. Now mix everything well and our lovely recipe is all ready to eat. I love having this with some lovely hot steamed rice. You can have it with even pav or bread or chapatis, puris, the choice is yours. So here you can see I've taken my lovely rice which is cooked and this ghati, and it's a complete meal. Enjoy it, friends. So friends, let's see today's delicious Goan chana usal. Now here I've taken half a cup of Kabuli chana boiled. I'll leave the instructions in the description box and the comment section as to how to get them to the perfect consistency. We want them to be really well cooked. Now let's look at the other ingredients. Here I have half a cup of freshly grated coconut. We're going to use 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric powder, half a teaspoon of asafoetida and half a teaspoon of mustard seeds, some salt to taste. This is 1 tablespoon of coriander seeds or dhania. Here I have 1 inch of cinnamon, 8 peppercorns and 4 cloves. A few curry leaves, about 3 or 4 dried red chilies, 2 teaspoons of jaggery and 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds. Now first I'm going to dry roast the spices, that is the red chilies, the cinnamon, the cloves, the pepper, the coriander seeds and the jeera or the cumin seeds. We're going to roast them for a whole 1 minute on a low to medium flame till you get the lovely aroma of all these spices. Once they're at room temperature, I'm going to transfer them to my mixer jar, add the coconut and also 1/4 cup of water. And we're going to grind this to a very smooth paste, and we are also going to retain the masala water. Now I'm going to heat a pan and I'm just going to add about 1 teaspoon of oil. Spread the oil around. Now once the oil is nice and hot, we're going to add the mustard seeds. Let the mustard seeds splutter. Once they begin to splutter, we're going to add the curry leaves. Next, we're going to add the hing or asafoetida as well as the turmeric powder. Give this all a good mix. And then we're going to add our cooked Kabuli chana. Let me tell you quickly how I cook them to the Kabuli chana. So first I soak the Kabuli chana, wash it really well under water thrice, soak it. Okay, now we're going to add the ground masala. I will tell you how to make the Kabuli chana as we go along in the recipe, and I'll leave it in the comment section. So after you have washed it well, soak it for a good 7 to 8 hours, and after that cook it in your pressure pan for 1 whistle on high. Now we're adding the masala water, 1 whistle on high, and then simmer it for 15 minutes. So in total I've now added about 3/4 cup of water. Don't worry, I'll leave the instructions in the description box below as to how to cook the kabuli chana. Now I'm adding the jaggery or the goad or the gur, and I'm adding salt to taste. And once you pressure cook it, let the pressure pan cool completely. And then you just take one of the kabuli chanas and press it between your two fingers, the forefinger and the thumb, and it should be really nice and soft. It should immediately crush. So now mix everything really well, and now we just have to cover this and cook it on a low to medium heat for about 7 to 8 minutes till everything comes together. And now our lovely usar is ready. My kitchen has a beautiful aroma of this and I can't wait to dig in, and I'm just going to garnish it with some fresh coriander leaves. And our beautiful Goan chana usar is all ready. I like to have this with some hot rice or some pav. So let's make this delicious Goan drumstick dal. I washed and wiped dry 2 thick drumsticks or shenga, and I'm just going to use a peeler and take off the outer peel of the drumstick. Now I'm going to just cut off the edges, or the ends, and I'm going to cut them into about 2-inch size pieces. Now in the middle, if you do get some kind of peel coming off, take off that peel. And then this way, I'll just cut up everything. And also I'm going to be using cooked tur dal. So watch the video till the end because I'll show you how to cook your tur dal perfectly. Here is our drumsticks all ready for the recipe. So now I've heated up a pan and I'm going to add just half a tablespoon of oil. This does not require lots of oil. Spread the oil in the pan. Once the oil is hot, we're going to add half a teaspoon of mustard seeds, also called muri or rye. Then add a few fresh curry leaves, depending on how much you like curry leaves. I love curry leaves in any of my dals. Then mix everything really well together. Then we're going to add half a teaspoon of cumin seeds or jeera. Next, we're going to add half a teaspoon of asafoetida or hing, half a teaspoon of turmeric powder or haldi, and mix everything well together. Now, I'm going to add the drumsticks that we prepped or prepared. Mix it well with the bagar or the fodni. Let it get nicely coated with all of the spices that we've added to the fodni or the bagar. And now I'm just going to add half a cup of water, and we're going to cook this, covering it for about 10 to 15 minutes on a low to medium flame because we want the drumsticks to get nicely cooked. Now once our drumsticks are cooked, you can see that the flesh of the pulp of the drumstick rather has turned to white. That means it is cooked. And now again, once we add the dal, it will still continue cooking, but we want to cook it basically with water. So once our drumsticks are nice and cooked, we're going to add this cooked tur dal. Now generally tur dal goes well with this recipe, but if you're used to using masoor dal, you can also add that. Mix everything really well together. Now you can add some more water if you require. If you want your dal to be thinner, you add water. If you want it a thicker consistency, then don't add the water. I'm just using the dal water. Now we're going to flavor it with some salt to taste. I'm going to be adding 1 teaspoon of jaggery or jaggery or gur. You can also substitute with sugar. And I'm going to add a little bit of kokum or amsula or sola. You can also add a little bit of tamarind juice. Then we're going to add half a teaspoon of red chili powder. You can adjust this according to your taste. If you want it more spicy, you add more. If you want it less spicy, add less. And then 2 to 3 teaspoons of this goda or kala masala. Now this is homemade. I leave a recipe for it, a link of my recipe rather. It's very simple. You can make a big batch of this and store it and use it for any kind of dal. It just takes the dal to a different level. Now this is optional, but I'm adding just about a tablespoon of grated coconut. This is completely optional. Mix everything well together. And now let this start to boil on a low to medium heat. Mix everything again. And then just cover and cook this on a low to medium heat for about 10 to 15 minutes till everything comes together really, really well. And now our lovely delicious drumstick dal is all ready. I love to have this with some steamed rice and some lovely vegetable at the side. It's super delicious and it's very healthy too. So incorporate a lot of vegetables in your diet. It's really, really good. And now I'm just going to let you just take you through how I cook my tur dal perfectly. So here I've taken 3/4 of a cup of tur dal. I've washed it well under water. You need to wash it well. And then I'm just going to keep it aside for about, in 3 cups of water for about 2 to 3 minutes. And then I'm just going to put it into my pressure cooker. I'm going to add a little bit of turmeric powder and a little bit of hing. This is optional, you don't need to add it at this stage, but I like to add it for that lovely color. And asafoetida helps in digestion as well. And then I'm going to add just a little salt. You can skip the salt at this stage. This is just how I basically cook my dal. And then I'm just going to pressure cook it in my pressure pan for 1 whistle on high and then simmer it for 10 minutes. And then let it cool down in the pressure pan or in the cooker completely till the cooker cools down completely. And then after you take it out from the cooker, just take a whisk, or we have a wooden whisk at home which is called Ravi. We just whisk it very well so that you get a very smooth consistency of the dal, and that's how you use your tur dal for this recipe.